All right. Good rising, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it may be when y'all check out this podcast. This is episode, was it 23? I'm losing
Yeah,
count.
23.
All right, so it's episode 23. We got another good one. As always, like, subscribe, comment, make sure you hit the notification button. And Marcus, what do you got over there?
Like always, hello everybody. I appreciate y'all joining. I'm gonna say same thing Matt said and echo it. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment. This is a good one. This is both for Alex, we both trainers, and I have a certification on what we about to talk about. So it's an important one. So I really want feedback, you guys, on this one. What y'all feel about it? It's a good episode as all the other ones, but this one is going to be a little bit deeper for me because this is what I do. This is, partly what I do is personal training, and nutrition is a big part of it. But like I always say, always STS, stay focused, trust the process, and stay consistent. But on that note, I'm gonna kick it back to you, let you start off, Matt, and then we get this ball rolling.
All right, beautiful people. By now, y'all should already know where I come from. I come from a metaphysical aspect and spiritual. So, like Mark said, this topic it can be a deep one. I'm probably going to take it a little bit too deep for some people, but it is what it is. So, if you don't know what the topic is, it's basically what is healthy eating. This is something that everybody does, regardless what corner of the earth that you at. Everybody eats. Everybody love to eat, and so there are so many different types of diets out there. I don't want to call it fads, but there's different diets, nutritional habits, you name it. So for me, I was thinking this week, and I was like, so what is actually uh, healthy eating? Because, like I said, there's so many different types that's out there. To me, it can be confusing because which one is the right one? So as I did my research, I'm just going to roll off a couple of numbers just to give some context as far as the health and food industry. So basically, the food global market, that's the entire globe, is in revenue is 2 billion. So that's what they make annually is about $2 billion across the globe. And this is based off of 2020 statistics. Um, so the food service, as far as actually employees and so forth, is 1.81 trillion. That's a hell of a lot, and that's just for the United States. This is not global. So that goes to show you that we eat a lot here. And of course, if everyone don't know, United States is probably, if not the most obese country in the world, is close to it. So just based off of those numbers, kind of support that number. And then the U.S. has 1.5 trillion, accounting for over 4% of the gross domestic product or GDP. The fast food industry makes 331.41 billion dollars annually. That's just fast food alone. That's not including restaurants and so forth. So, and then with that, that's what I'm going to get into my perspective on what is healthy eating. So I'm just gonna give like my personal experience. And I don't know if I told you this, Mark, but I think it was 2, 3 years ago. I went to Dubai. I don't know if it was the food I ate over there or the different climate, but my blood pressure was so high. It was like 181 over 100. And when I came back, I went to my doctor, and he looked at me. This was his brother. He said, "I'm just gonna be straight up with you." He said, "Man, there's nothing else I can do." He said, "You done had almost all the medications. I don't like prescribing medication to black people because it causes them health issues." And he said, "I don't know what you got to do, but you need to find an alternative method to combat this high blood pressure." So I was doing some research and stuff, and I was on Facebook, and it just so happened it was this young lady. She used to be a pharmacist, but she transferred and went into being an herbalist. So she had a little group and stuff like that. So I linked up with her, did a consultation, and to make a long story short, that's when I really started getting into changing my eating habits. And I basically did a raw diet, which is alkaline, and that's what I follow more so now than anything else. Is the alkaline nutritional habits. So that's basically fruits, vegetables, nuts, and so forth. It's like a really, really, really restricted diet. And so my blood pressure went down, but that's when I really start dropping weight. So I was like 210, 215, and at that point I dropped down to like 180 something. And to me, I look sick. And I remember I told you about it. He's like, "No, I see you lost some weight, but you don't look bad." But for me, I looked like I was sick. Now, internally, all my organs and my labs and stuff was great. I felt great, but just the outer appearance, I thought I looked pretty bad. So it was a challenging thing to do. I remember going home to Philly. I stopped eating meat and everything, and I actually went to a vegan spot and I ate it. It was pretty good, but for some reason that cheesesteak was calling me. So I went got me a cheesesteak from Pecano's, and then I came back home and I started eating meat again for about maybe a month or so, and then my blood pressure went back up. So basically, saying all that to say this, I think eating really depends on the individual, and like I say with everything else, to me everything is relative because what works for me is not going to work for you. Even though we're twins, I think your blood type is different because I'm A positive. I don't know if you're A positive or, but just that alone, like now I'm focusing in on my blood type as well. So there's actually uh, a food plan or food chart that actually tells people what to eat and what not to eat based off of their blood type. So that's what brought this whole topic up is because, like I said, there's so many different um, diets out there, nutritional habits. So which one is the right one? And I'm going to leave it there and curious what you have to say. Then I'm going to get into metaphysical aspect of it.
Yeah, well, first, just to hit that one thing you were saying about the blood type, and I'm just going to take y'all back to when I did my first competition. And Danielle, which was my personal trainer, she's the actual nutritionist, licensed nutritionist. She's been doing it for like 20 some years. And it's funny because she gets everybody ready for their competitions. Bodybuilder, I did physique. So she did, and I didn't even know this because again, that was my first competition. So she did blood work and went off of my blood work to prescribe, not prescribe, but to create a meal plan for me so I can get ready. And I got super lean. Like you were saying, I got so lean where I think I was too lean for that competition, but it burned all the body fat off. Like you said, there was no meat. It was all vegetables, all fruit. It was a very restricted diet, but it helped. It kept me internally healthy, like you said. And I think that's important on the thing what you were saying about what is healthy eating. One of the main things that I've learned, because I went to school and I got certified, guys. So I'm not a licensed nutritionist. It's a big difference. They told us that it's the difference between a licensed and a certified. I'm certified, meaning I can give information, I can give advice, I can recommend, but I cannot give meal plans. But one thing Danielle said, being that she's a nutritionist, it stuck with me, it resonated.
Mhm.
And she said she don't use the word diet, right?
Yeah.
She said, "What is the first three letters in diet?" I was like, "Die." She said, "Think about it. You're killing yourself when people go out here and they all do diets because they feel that it is what it is. Like you said, people do it for a fad or a quick fix. People do diets for 3 months because they want to win a competition or they want to lose weight. Mainly women. I had more clients want to lose weight quick so they can fit in the dress to go to a wedding, go to something. So what Danielle was telling me is we do these quick diets thinking that that's going to get the weight off, which it does, but then you go right back to your bad eating
Mhm.
habits. So you constantly putting all that work and toll on that body, which is your internals, your digestive system, which is the key main thing to our body is our digestive system. And that's what I learned and that she taught me is eating the wrong foods is not helping our digestive system. So a lot of times we eat a lot of food, even though we think we're eating right, but it's not good for our digestive system. So we're not even digesting the food correctly. Because a lot of people don't take the right amount of minerals or their vitamins, which is crucial in part of your digestive system. You know, a lot of people think it's just eating healthy is just eating salads and eating doing that what they call the what is that called? The 12 increment fasting, intermediate fasting, which is good because I've done that, but it doesn't mean anything if you're still not eating the right food. If you're not getting the right amount of minerals, which is very important, like I said, you got to get your magnesium, your potassium, your zinc. And a lot of people don't understand that. Your iron, if you don't have the right amount, milligrams, that's going to play a big factor in how your body's digesting all your food. So you eating the food, but it's not digesting it. And one way you know is how often do you use the bathroom?
Right.
You know, if you don't use the bathroom at least once a day, twice a day, you got a really bad digestive system. That means backed up, your arteries is clogged, you're not digesting the food, so your body's not even getting all the nutrients the way they should. You know, so that's one thing I learned, and I'm still learning, I'm still educating myself on that, is I'm making sure I'm a conscious effort of, taking my magnesium, I take my zinc every day, I take my potassium, the iron, all of that, along with my vitamins. Multivitamin is probably the best one to take because all of that is going to be the key part to your diet. It's not just the eating, what a lot of people think. It's an important part of it. I'm not saying it's not, but it's not the only thing. You know, so I just wanted to throw that out there. These diets, keto diet is one that's, when you remember, man, it first came out, it was the biggest thing. Everybody's on a keto diet. Now, what, 2 years later, because I started True Fit in 2020, it's 2023, people still do it, but it's nowhere as big as it was when it first started. So that's the problem I have with these diets that people come up with. They realize what it does, but they don't stick to it, or it just blows over. Like keto diet actually was hurting a lot of people because they was doing the wrong keto diet, which is all fats and protein. Some people was eating all the wrong fats, and it helped them lose the weight, but they gained it right back when they stopped keto diet. That's the thing about these diets, and that's, again, it's a fad, it's temporarily, it's not something that's long. So what I always tell my clients is, don't say you want to be on a diet. You want to start creating a healthy living, a healthy way of eating, and make that a habit, because them little quick fix, it doesn't work. And a lot of people nowadays, they do these quick diets. Again, I hate saying diet, but that's what we call it. And they're not realizing you got to make this an everyday lifestyle. It's not a 3-month process.
Exactly.
That's what I hate about these programs. And a lot of these programs are trying to help you, but at the same time, they're trying to help themselves. They get you on it to get you to lose that weight. And then after those 3 months, then what? They don't tell you continue. You got to keep eating right regularly. You got to continue to exercise regularly. It's not just 3 months and then you're done and all of a sudden your body just stays the same. No, you got to make this a lifestyle every day, you know, no days off, especially the eating. And I get it. It's hard. I am not going to lie. You know, man, you did competition. I would tell people that dieting or getting ready for competition is harder than losing weight. And I can understand people that try to lose weight, because everybody will tell me, oh, it's not easy. It's easy for you because you don't know what it's like to lose weight. And I said, well, I don't, but it's hard trying to get ready for a competition because you literally got to be managing yourself, stay focused, even though it's a 3-month, 90 days out where you do that, it's still strenuous. But that's where it opened my eyes to realize that, eating clean is not easy. So I'm not going to sit here and lie to anybody and say it's easy, go do it. That's why a lot of people don't do it. But you got to be ready and make it a conscious, this is a lifestyle change, not a 3-month fad, what a lot of people do. And then when I come back, after you say something, Matt, I'm going to get into more of what you should eat, what you shouldn't eat, because you made a good point. Everybody can't eat the same thing and it reacts the same. So that's important. But I'm gonna throw it back to you because I don't want to take the whole time up talking. So
All right. So now what I'm about to say is going to probably sound like it's refuting what you said, but it's not. So I just want to make sure I preference that I'm not trying to come off like I'm an expert. This is the research that I've done. And I always try to speak from my experience because, like I was saying earlier, when I did the alkaline and I got my blood pressure down to the right levels, so that's when I speak from that. That's why I stick to what I stick to because
mhm.
my body was operating at its peak, the way it's supposed to when I was on that nutritional habit. So that's why I stick with that. So now this is the metaphysical side of it. Um, so I know you said you take your vitamins and all your supplements and stuff like that. So I'm gonna be honest, I don't take any vitamins or supplements. Um,
Mhm.
and I frequently get my labs checked, and my labs always come back
Mhm.
perfect. Now I know it's stuff that you can check for that they normally don't check for. They just check for the basic stuff that's going to give you
Mhm.
indication, if somebody is not healthy or not. So this is when it comes down to the metaphysical stuff for me, because everything is energy, and food is energy. So you got your high vibrational food, then you got your low vibrational food. So the body actually operates effectively anywhere from 70 to was it 90 megahertz. So that's the optimal level that our body should be operating at. So anything that drops below 70, then that's where disease come in and your immune system breaks down. So I don't know if you remember when Dad was in the hospital. I think it was the first or the second time. And when I talked to Candy, she said that his levels was low. And basically what they were saying is his vibration or his frequency was low and
Mhm.
he was declining. So he was actually getting closer to getting more ill and so forth because his frequency was dropping, his vibration was dropping. So basically, what I'm trying to say is when it comes to food, like I said, you got your low vibration and high vibration. So high vibrational food is more or less what I try to focus on, which is vegetables, fruits, nuts,
Mhm.
and so forth, because it's natural, it's from the earth, and the earth in itself is a high vibration. Nature is high vibration. So
Mhm.
that's the food that we are supposed to consume. But all the other stuff, fast food and all the other stuff that they have, the meats and stuff like that, that's low vibrational. So I know somebody might say, well, so how is it meat is low vibrational if it was made by God and you got the grass fed? Okay, that's true. But the one thing that people miss is those animals are killed. So once something is dead, it's at a low vibration because it's no longer living. So everything that operates as far as at a living frequency, or at a frequency that's alive is 70 to 98 hertz. So if it's dead, then it's nothing, it's low. So if you're consuming that, you're consuming low vibration. So that's another reason why I don't eat meat is because it's low vibrational food. And once you consuming that stuff, and along with everything else, because you got the mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual, that also controls a lot of your frequency that helps that number, increase or decrease. So if we're eating more than anything else, if we're eating more than we're exercising, if we're stressed out, we don't have no spiritual life, that number is going to decrease. So, and that's where the issue comes in. So that was my question, and I was hoping it was going to have the professionals on here because my question to them was going to be, okay, knowing this, so again, what is healthy eating? Because if with that information being known, why is that stuff still being pushed out for people to consume? So that's my perspective on that for right now.
Yeah. So yeah. So you're right as far as the meats and all that. I'm gonna sit here and say, yeah. As far as the minerals, it's the same thing. Even because you say you do alkaline, which is more veggies and fruit. All
Yeah.
those have minerals in them too. So
Mhm.
what I would say to everybody is if you're gonna go that route, if you don't do the meat, you still need to research. And damn it, I don't have my paper with me where your berries is one of the
Yeah.
best. Your raspberries,
Mhm.
strawberries, blueberries, probably top of the list because
Yeah.
it's antioxidant. So that's one of the
Mhm.
better ones. What I say? Blueberries, cherries, strawberries, raspberries, and a
Yeah.
lot of them had inflammatory, so it kills the
Right.
inflammation. So it's good for that. So that would be the obvious way to go. Now I'm gonna do the devil's advocate because I do it all the time. Again, I'm not justifying nothing. I'm
Right.
just saying this is just the way the world is. Some people is gonna think like this, and it's a lot of people I get pushback just from my clients when I tell them about eating clean, eating healthy. And they get frustrated and be like, well, how the hell are we supposed to eat clean if it's expensive for one? I said, that's a
Mm.
ploy to keep everybody sick. I know this sounds like a
Exactly.
conspiracy theory, but if you really think about
It's
it,
facts though.
the health industry is number one money maker in the world because everybody is sick. So if they keep
Mhm.
you sick, it keeps the money flowing. Because think about it, everybody running around eating right, eating clean,
Right.
that's less people going to the doctor. That's less doctor bills. So they ain't going to let
Yeah.
that. So, and I'm going to go into when I used to work for HEB, we did a competitive walk and we went to
Yeah.
HEB and Walmart. And I learned a lot when I used to work for them, but I'm going to touch on that in a minute. But I'm going to go back to the veggies and all that. So one of my clients said the other day, because I told them just this, and they was like, well, how are we supposed to eat clean if GMO is the new thing?
Ah,
Not new, it's
damn
been
it, just
around for a
stole that.
while.
I was going to talk about that.
Yeah. So the first thing they said, well, how are we gonna go to the healthy stores if everything GMO? And I'm like, you know what? That's a good point because everything is genetically modified. I went the other day and I swear to God, I got a banana that was about this freaking big, and that's not normal for a banana to be that damn big. So that's how you know this shit ain't real because they try to make it preserve it to last longer.
Right.
And it's just there's no way these fruits is that huge. I had an orange the other day, it was the size of a grapefruit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that can't be right. So my client was like, so how are we supposed to eat clean if even the veggies are GMO? And I said, that's a good point. Now, I don't know a lot of people that do it everywhere else, but in San Antonio, is one guy had about 3 years ago when I was training him. He had a lot of land. And
Mhm.
mom used to do this. She used to plant her own veggies.
Yeah.
Because honestly, that'd be the only way you can be 100 to know that you're getting clean non-GMO because again, it is facts that it's a lot of these stores, HEB, Walmart sells produce and it's GMO. So technically it's healthy, but at the same time it's not because
Mhm.
they GMO it. So if you got a house and you got a yard, but I think the government is trying to keep people from
Yeah.
planting their own veggies. Now this guy lived outside of San Antonio. So he brought his fruit and he'll bring it to work to me. And literally, you can see the difference when you
Mhm.
do it yourself as
Oh yeah.
opposed to when you go to the store and it just tastes different. You
Yeah.
can tell the difference. When we went on a cruise to Aruba a couple years ago, and we went to Aruba and they took us on I always like to go to historical tour because you want
Uh-huh.
to learn about Aruba. And they was telling us how they was the number one island that transport a lot of veggies to America. Now,
Right.
this was a couple years ago, back when Trump was still the president. He was like, "Well, your lovely president stopped us from transporting, importing veggies to your country, so y'all don't get no more healthy veggies." And they let us taste the watermelon. And I
Yeah.
remember this one lady drink it and like, this is man, this don't taste right. And the dude said, no, it don't taste right because you're used to y'all's watermelon back in
Right.
America where it's sweet and they got all that additives added to it. You eating something that's real. So your taste buds are so
Yeah.
used to that, you don't
Mhm.
realize you're eating something that's organic. And that's why you didn't like it. So that my whole point is what I'm leading up to is literally you have to plant your own veggies. And I know that's not easy for a lot of people, but I would say either that or you got to go to here in San Antonio. I don't know where's that in Atlanta, man, but it's called Sun Harvest
Yeah.
or
Whole
Sprouts,
Foods.
which is more of an
Yeah.
organic store. Now, again, it's going to sound like it's a racist thing, but when I worked for HEB, they taught us how they demographically put certain
Yeah.
foods in certain areas depending on the Democrats,
Right.
demographic who's in that area. Like when I
Mhm.
worked on the north side, which was predominantly the high-end, richer folks, had all the healthy fruit because that was the store I worked at was number one in the city for the produce. And then you go to
Right.
south side and they had the lowest high GMO produce and meats there because that's more Mexicans, Hispanics. So they
Mhm.
give the low end, like you say about low vibration, all that stuff is facts. So when they taught us in the HEB as far as the competitive walk, my point is, so if you go to a certain store, you're not going to get the best natural organic. You got to go outside your comfort zone and go one of them little stores on the north side and get clean and heavy, healthy vegetables because they know how it's important. So
Oh
they
yeah.
make it, they take care of themselves, you know.
Right.
But unfortunately, the minorities, the east side, the west side, we get all the bad stuff, and they do that on purpose because
Mhm.
that keeps us at being sick because African Americans and Hispanics is number one for high blood pressure
Right.
and diabetes. It's a reason is that number, guys. So that's you got to wake up and start telling yourself it's a conscious effort. You got to ask yourself, what's your self worth? We all want to go and buy the nice shoes and got women doing all these, you know, different things to their body to enhance themselves, but they're not thinking about their internal, which is more important. What's the
Right.
point of looking good if you ain't healthy on the inside? So to me,
Right.
it's a no-brainer. If you really have that much self-wealth, it shouldn't hurt you to drive a little further to get the healthier food that you know is going to keep you to live longer and healthier. But it's a lot of people that don't, they got every excuse under the sun. They the same ones getting the nails done or getting the fresh cuts or getting the new tinnies. So I'm like, that's your self-worth then, and that tells me a lot about you. You know, so but yeah, that's I'm gonna pause for a second because I'm gonna read some stuff real quick, some notes, but I'm gonna let you go, man.
Okay. You said a lot just
I
now.
know that's why I was
It's a
trying not
couple
to
of things
keep
I'm
talking because I can go on and on.
yeah, I'm gonna touch on. I will touch on the GMO thing also. Uh, so the research I've done, like 90% of soy, and soy is almost in everything. Um, and I shop at Whole Foods, and Sprouts, so you can still go to those stores. Some of it is organic, but most of it still isn't. They still because everything has soy in it, and 90% of soy is GMO. Corn is the other one. So it's the two highest GMO products is soy and corn, and almost everything is made out of soy. So my thing is, and I was telling him this, I was like, it's to the point now to where it's almost impossible to find anything. Like when I go shopping and stuff like that, or go out to eat, it's impossible for me to eat because everything has soy in it. I
Mhm.
mean, literally, like even the vegans, they use nothing but soy. And I'm like, oh my God, do you not realize that's like the worst stuff you can use is soy. But everything has soy in it. So anyway, I want to touch on with the GMO. And I know the FDA claims that it's safe for consumption for humans, but anything that's genetically modified and chemically engineered is not natural. So I don't see how they think that it's not going to hurt humans. And so, but I know the reason why, but I don't want to get into that. But as far as the other thing you was talking about, you was like most of the areas where they have the those stores like Sprouts and Whole Foods and stuff like that, it's more than astute neighborhoods. But this is where I look at us and say, well, you know what, we can't really blame them because again, instead of these athletes, entertainers, and celebrities, what are the first thing they invest in? A club, a liquor store, or what's the other thing? Or clothing or real estate and houses. Why not invest in something that you know that's going to make money because people love to eat. So why not invest, buy Whole Foods or start your own market and bring in all the healthy foods and stuff like that. So this way Well, for all these so-called billionaires, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, Jay-Z, what's the other one? Kanye, Rihanna. That's just 6. I know there's more out there that's not celebrities. So you're trying to tell me these people can't come together and say, you know what? We have to take care of us. We can't keep looking at other people and saying that this is what they're doing to us. There's nothing in our neighborhoods. Let's go back and take our neighborhoods. Because for me, not to get off topic, but the number one thing that we should be investing in is land. You know, our big thing is real estate. They buy up a whole bunch of houses. What good is that going to do? I'm looking long term. That's going to make us as a group better, which is buying land. You get more out of land than you will out of homes, because once you purchase land, you can put the things that you want to put on there. But anyway, that's getting off topic. But now with that GMO thing, I don't know. I just see that it's going to be really hard to eat right. Now, to touch on when you were talking about starting your own garden and stuff like that. Now, the downside to that is not to come off as negative. I'm with you 100%. We need to do that. But, and I was reading this yesterday when I was doing my research. What makes the food organic is the soil that's being used. If the soil is not good, then the food's not going to be good. So that's another key. You got to find somewhere that's not tainted, somewhere that's not infected. And I think that's why so many farmers are doing the GMO, because then you got the wildlife and stuff that's out there. And that's where the issue comes in, because then you got to put pesticides on it to keep the fruits and vegetables from getting eaten and contaminated by all the stuff that's out there. So it's like a double-edged sword. So it's a remedy for it, but it's so challenging to find the right place to have land, and then you got to have the right soil. You got to take care of it, and that takes money. And the average person, especially nowadays, just don't have that type of money. Especially people in the inner city and stuff like that. You know, to expect them to do that, it's going to happen. If they don't have the means to, get higher education or start in business, they're not going to have the capital to do that. So, and that's what happens. They stuck, and then they just resort to eating this grocery store up there. And the one other thing I want to say, and let you finish, is education. Both you and I, we have nutritional background. We don't have a degree in it, but it's educating these, the people that don't know. That's the key. A lot of these people are not educated on it. They have no clue. They believe whatever they're being told. Oh, this is healthy, it's good, it's not going to affect you, because they don't see them as being not necessarily enemy, but they don't see them as doing harm. Because most people say, well, who's going to do their own people like that? They're not going to do their own people like that. But that's another topic for the day. All right. You see some notes stuff you want to touch
on? Yeah, so I'm gonna kind of I'm gonna reiterate what I just said a minute ago. And I'm not gonna come across like I'm trying to combat with that, but I'm not. But you keep hitting the note about how it's hard nowadays because everything is a challenge. And that's where what I would say, like I tell my clients, and I try to be realistic as possible. Like you said, I ain't gonna say it's impossible, but it's a hard challenge to try to eat clean with all the obstacles that's out there. So what I tell people, and some people be like, how can you tell somebody that as a trainer? Because again, I'm being realistic. If you know that you're not gonna do 100% eating clean all the time, I say that's where you gotta be moderate on how you eat. If you're gonna eat certain things, don't overindulge in it. If you know you're gonna eat bad, you ain't gotta be all crazy and go overboard. That's where the other problem is. You excessive with it, then yeah, you're gonna create more health problems. But if you still manage it, if you know you're gonna eat some chips or some cookies, don't eat the whole damn bag. Or who's gonna eat 4 cookies and then put it away? You know what I'm saying? So again, that's gonna be the unrealistic part, but that's where the challenge, you gotta manage yourself. Because what I've been doing, they laugh at me at work, is I do little zippy bags and I put 4 or 5 cookies in there. So
Yeah.
now I can't eat no more because that's all I got left. So what else can I do? And I hate paying the vending machine because that's $3, $4. So that's expensive.
Right.
So if you do that, I think again, you portion out everything and be more moderate. It may, again, I'm not saying you're gonna be 100, but it's an effort and it's gonna keep you from, again, overindulging, because that's the problem with a lot of people. I have this water bottle. Okay, I'm gonna show y'all real quick. So I'm gonna move this camera real quick. And I got this, and again, they laugh at me every day at work, ask me if I care. This joint right here goes with me every day. And you know what this is, man. It's the 64 ounce, and it's broken down to 2 hours. From 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock, I drink water. And the girl the other day was like, how can you do that? Every time I look, you're sitting there sucking on the straw, and then you look, and then you drink. I said, yeah. But I said, you gotta do that because it keeps you hydrated. And it's not even a lot. I mean, it's literally 2 sips and then you done. So you ain't gotta be sitting there gulping, because I said a lot of people drink when they are thirsty, and that's when they drink way too much or not enough. If you do that every 2 hours, you're putting in enough water that the body needs to stay hydrated. Now, of course, if you doing some high activity or working out, or you working somewhere extremely hot, you might take in a little bit more. But still, the point I'm making is the moderation of every 2 hours. It continuously giving you a little bit. So now, I'm not telling somebody to eat chips every 2 hours, but my point is, if you do that, that'd be better than just saying, fuck it, I can't eat healthy, it's too expensive. Everything is GMO, so I'm gonna just eat bad. We only live once. I hear that all the time. That's the number one pushback. You're gonna die sometime, so why not enjoy your life now? I said, well, if you want to speed up the process, go do you. But I always tell people, like I said, just do it, be smart about it, don't overindulge. If you do that, like I give all my clients, and some do it, some don't, when I tell them to eat every 2 hours. And that thing people always tell me, that's hard. If you working, who's gonna sit around and keep monitoring every 2 hours? I said, I work in a plant for 12 hours. Just like that water, I set my watch. Every 2 hours, the alarm goes off. Or when I go to break, I snack something. When I go to lunch, I snack something. So within a 12-hour day, I already had something every 2 hours, because the way our breaks are set up at work is every 2 hours to get a break. Now that's my job. Now I know everybody's job is different, but the whole point again is a little bit of accountability. If you do that, and what's the rule? If you do it 21 days, it becomes a habit. So you got to be consistent at it. If you do it once a week, of course you're not going to do it, because you're not making it a habit. You're only doing it once in a blue moon. So you got to do it every day, 21 days. And I believe 100% that works, because I actually tried it. If you do it consistently, it becomes second nature to you. It's a muscle memory reaction, because that's how I am with my water bottle. One time I forgot it at home, and I went to reach, it's like, oh shit, I don't have my water bottle, because I was so used to just going every 2 hours and just grabbing my water. So, I mean, even though it's hard when it comes to the eating, you can eat your fruit, the banana or apple, some berries. Like you said, you do your nuts. I get my mixed nuts. I put that in a zippy bag, and every 2 hours, I'm not as hungry as much, because it keeps you full longer. And it's something that you got to just consciously do. So I think it's possible, but a lot of people don't have the discipline because they have more excuses than they do reasons why. And those are usually the people that don't have results that they want, losing weight or whatever it is they trying to do with their lifestyle. So, but it's not easy. I ain't gonna be the first one to tell you it's easy. I know it's not, but it's a challenge. You just gotta, go head on and take it by the bull, the horn, as they say. And,
so what are these notes you got over there?
Well, I mean, the notes I was reading was just about nutrition, but this is more like if I'm talking to a client, and this is stuff, like you said, you already know, man. And you're more on the other aspect, so you probably will agree with it, but then you probably won't. But it's just telling people, like, trans fat. Most people know you want to stay away from trans fat foods. You know, such as like you said, soy. You already put that out there. Soy is one of the worst things. It's trans fat, which makes you put on more fat. You limited intake,
Mhm.
which I already said, that was part of the notes, and then the high protein. If you eat more protein, now you can do veggies, which is protein, but that's more of an incomplete protein because they don't have the meat, which has a little bit more protein in it. So if you want to get your protein in, because I had a client ask me that, well, how am I gonna get protein if I don't eat no meat? Veggies all have protein in them, some more than others. It's a chart, like you were saying, that breaks it down and it gives you all the protein for your veggies, all the carbs for your veggies. And if you follow that calendar or that chart, you'll be able to eat cleaner. But again, it's something that you gotta want to do, and it's an effort. You can't sit there and just guess it. You gotta really put in some work. But who does that nowadays? You know what I mean? That's the thing. A regular person is not going to do that unless they getting ready for a competition or some kind of 3-month program where they try to win money. Then everybody get focused, but they just forget about the other 9 months. You know what I mean? So, but that, I mean, that was all the notes. It wasn't nothing big. It was just transit fat. Your carbs, take more complex carbs, but then that kind of contradict what you were saying because you know, like you were saying, a lot of this stuff has soy in it. So I can tell everybody do all this, but at the end of the day, you just got to be more mindful on how you eat and what you eat because everybody's different too. Like you said, some people eat out of boredom. Some people eat out of
Yeah.
depression. Some people eat
Mhm.
because they have, you know what I mean? Some people just eat all the damn time just because. You know, and that's one thing I noticed I'm guilty of it. If I'm sitting around the house and I ain't got shit to do, first thing I do, go walk in the kitchen, open the fridge, be like, damn. You know, I'm not even hungry, but it's just a reaction. I think that's why a lot of people are so unhealthy. If they ain't got
Mhm.
nothing to do, then they eat. If you go to a party or a friend house, somebody's always putting food in your face. So you got to really, again, I'm keep coming back to that, be more disciplined on what you want to eat. But peer pressure is a mother, you
Right.
know, because I had this guy at work just trying to get more built and he wanted to lose weight. And I told him, I said, bro, one thing you gonna have to learn is the hardest thing is gonna be is eating clean around the people you surround yourself with. Because
Mhm.
if they don't eat like you, they're gonna mess with you, they're gonna tease you, they're gonna test you, they're gonna peer pressure you. Why are you always eating healthy? That's so boring. And you know, it's nothing wrong. Eat this. And if you ain't got the mentality, you're gonna fall and go and eat or drink whatever it is because you don't want to feel like the outcast. So you're gonna do it out of peer pressure. So that's one thing. You gotta be around people that eat the way you eat. And I really believe that. Before I didn't believe that, but at work, I don't even eat in the cafeteria no more. Not saying that I have to change, but I just know that being around a bunch of people don't eat like me is more of a challenge because then you're gonna be
Mhm.
more quick to go eat something that they eat. But if you eat around people eating clean, you have a better opportunity, a chance of doing it continuously because you surround yourself around people that have the same thing in common. But I digress for this second. I'm gonna let you you grab the mic, so I know you ready to say something.
All right. So that goes back to the original question. What is healthy eating? Because I don't say based for what you were saying, but most people kind of had the same mentality. So for me, my thing is, I eat to live, not live to eat. So knowing that we operate from optimal frequency of 70 to 80, and if you know you got food that's low vibration and food that's high vibration, and I know you were saying that you get your protein and stuff like that from your meat, um, but at the same time, you're consuming something that's low that optimally over time is going to kill you. So in a sense, you're not eating right because you're putting something in you that's dead. And that goes back to a question then again, what is healthy eating? Because this is what people are told that okay, this is how you're supposed to eat. This is what you eat. if you want the minerals and the vitamins, stuff like that, and all your nutrients, you have to include meat in your daily diet. But at the same time, when you really look at it, like I was saying in the other podcast, our organs actually operate off a certain frequency. So if you're consistent in this food in there, it's going to keep draining that organ. And this is something that I know you know this, like our cells reproduce every day. So basically up to in 100 days, our cells in our body replenish is basically 300. So it's like your body starting all over again. So in essence, we can live a long time, we can stay healthy, but that's only if we're eating right. So if you're constantly eating bad, not right, then those cells that you that's being replenished or regenerating is going to continue to be affected because you're constantly consuming the wrong stuff that's going to keep killing those cells. And eventually, what happens is the cells, I think it's at around age 50, they start regenerating. So whatever cells you have, that's what you have. That's why age expectancy is low for some people because of the stress. Like I said, you got the emotional, physical, mental, spiritual, all that stuff takes into account as far as the optimal level what your body's supposed to operate at. So all cells start replenishing, regenerating at 50, then you start with whatever you have. And that's why, I don't know if you know, like a lot of people dying at 50, like, man, how are they dying so young? They only 50 something years old. Is because they was living a terrible lifestyle, rather than eating bad, not having good physical activity, no stress, spirituality. And then food, like I said, we consume food more than anything else that we do, then those cells are affected. So at 50, that's what you have. That's it. They're not changing anymore. Not at the same pace that they were, before you reach that age. I do everything I can, and I still kind of started late. I was 45, 46, because I knew around this age is when those cells is going to stop regenerating, and basically what I have is what I have. So that's what I was saying. Education to me is one of the big pieces as far as trying to change people mindset as far as how to eat, because just right now in the way it's going now, it's going to be even harder to do stuff, especially if you get rid of this dollar. Like if the dollar go away, and it's this new system called the Fed, where basically it's like a credit card, and wherever you go, you have to use that, and the government have access to it. So if you have, it's already in China. So if you walk across the street and they get a camera and jaywalk, they block your card. You can't eat, you can't do nothing. So if it gets to that point here, it's going to be even harder to eat right and do right. Because if you try to go and say, "Where I'm at," and where Kim is at in Alpharetta, they got really, really nice restaurants and grocery stores. So if you go up there and try to get something, you put your card in there, blocked. So what do? You come back down to where you at. Oh, I can go to Popeyes. Give me a 3-piece. You put your card in and accept it. So that's why I was saying, for me, education is the key, because until that stuff happens, now educated, this low vibrational food is high vibration. My body operates at a frequency of 90. Anything below that, I'm at risk of getting disease. So let me go ahead and eat the right way. So for me, it's the education more so than anything else. Because at some point, you get educated on certain things. If you know better, you should do better. I mean, that's the saying. If you know better, you should do better. Now, if you choose not to, then of course you're gonna have those people that know better and they still like, shit, I'm gonna do what I want to do. Because like you said, life is short. I'm gonna live my life. Now, those people you're never gonna say. They're gonna do what they do. But for the ones that really do want to, and they actually have the education, I really think they're going to do better because they want better. So that's for me. That's the biggest thing is educating people and putting the right infrastructures in those communities so they can do better.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, 100% on all of that. I guess I'm gonna say something. It's kind of like we telling everybody, like, damn, like we in a sense killjoy, because you hit the nail on the head. Everything's gonna come down how much education you have or knowledge you have on the situation, right? So I'm gonna say what you're saying, but I'm gonna say it on the other aspect is along with that education, I think it's a lot of people that's educated, but you gotta have that self-worth on what you believe is worth it. Because again, like I was saying earlier, if you know all this, and the thing that bothers me more than anything is somebody that know a lot of shit, but they're not practicing it. To me, if you somebody and I tell somebody, hey, you know, this is better for you to eat, or you, oh, I know, then why the hell are you doing it? So to me, if you know, which means you're educated on it, you know what is constantly right from wrong, and you still don't practice it, to me, you don't have no self-worth, or you just don't care, even though you know it. So to me, that's the worst thing is somebody that knows something and they don't do it. So I would say, right along with you, you got to be educated to know, but you better be active and practicing it at the same time. Because I cannot, and I'm not saying I'm better than anybody or I'm doing anything perfect. That's why I always say I'm guilty of a lot of stuff, but I'm never going to be like, well, you should be eating this, you should be doing that, and I'm not even doing it myself. So I would tell people if you are educating yourself, you better walk that walk,
Yeah.
because there's nothing worse than knowing and not doing nothing about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I always tell my clients. Like, if I'm giving you all this information and you still choose not to do it, then that tells me you don't have no self-worth for yourself. And yeah, I'm saying that. Some people may not agree with that, but it really is not. Because if you know it's right and you still not doing it, and you have all the tools, and that tells me you have no worth, and you just don't care or you don't trust it. And I know another thing is the problem with eating clean. And I know you hear this too, Matt. Again, I'm not justifying it. I'm devil's advocate. Oh, it's boring. It's not fun. It's just old. You
Yeah.
just know it's no taste. So a lot of people, I honestly believe, is the reason why they know it's good to eat healthy, but they don't like the fact that the taste is just bland. It don't taste the same because our taste buds are so screwed up. So they make that excuse on the reason why they don't want to eat healthy. You know, like I said again before, if you do go, as they say, cheat meal, you know, that's the little rule of thumb. Get a cheat meal a day to try to keep that balance. Not cheat meal the whole day, one cheat meal, not all day cheating, just one meal. So I would say that's okay. Like me, I had a lady ask me the other day, I bet you eat clean and healthy all the time. I'm like, you know what? Honestly, and people going to question me because I'm gonna say this again. I ain't trying to act like I'm perfect. Now I'm a trainer, so it might come across as contradiction. But I had my days where shit, I had a cheesesteak the other day in Italian water ice. Y'all saw me post that. So again, I'm not doing it every day. So am I wrong to have one meal? No, because I know I put in the work. Because after all what you're saying, man, I agree 100%. But as a trainer too, that's where the workouts do come in effect. Now, I know I always tell my clients it's 80-20, nutrition over working out. But you still got to be active. You still got to be able to burn that fat. If you ain't active at all, that is the worst thing to do is sit around and eat all day unhealthy and do nothing about it. Now, even though if I had a cheesesteak the other day, I'm putting in work 5 days a week. I'm working out. So that one cheesesteak, even though it was one, it's not going to affect me as bad as it would someone that eats a cheesesteak every day and don't do any kind of exercise, no kind of cardiovascular workouts, nothing to overwork that and burn that off. So I'm not telling people to go out and use that as a reason to say, I can eat that because Marcus said no. Listen to what I'm saying. If you put in the work and you do it consistently, one meal is not going to affect your overall lifestyle or your overall health. It's the people that don't do it continuously, that eat bad across the board. You can't expect to be healthy. You can't expect to lose weight. You can't expect nothing's bad going to happen because you're not doing anything about it. So that's why I was again saying that part about I know a lot of people that's educated. It's this guy at work, dude, freaking knowledge, just know everything about eating. He comes and tells me shit. And I'm like, I know, dude, I already know. But he's overweight. Now I asked him, I said, do you have a thyroid problem? Because if you have a health issue that's kind of out of your control, then I'll be like, okay, I'll fall back and be like, okay, but this dude had no thyroid problem, no problem to where is the reason why he's overweight. He just eats too much. So I'm like, well, why are you coming to me all the time about how you should eat or how what's good eating and you don't even practice it? Oh man, working out is too much. I ain't saying nothing about working out. I'm talking about eating. You be dropping knowledge all the time, trying to sound so intelligent. Like he's always coming to me talking about stuff about eating and what's healthy. But I'm looking at him like, you got all this knowledge, dude. But your appearance, unfortunately, people perception is reality. You see that person, you wouldn't think they would know anything because their appearance.
Right.
But the dude is smart as hell. He has his knowledge. I mean, he's educated on it. And I asked him, and he's just lazy. He has really no self-esteem, but he knows everything. And I don't get that, So that I have a problem with. I'm not saying everybody's like that, but it is some people, and I'm sure everybody that watch this have somebody they know that's knowledgeable but don't practice it at all.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with you 100%. You don't have those people like that. And I just say educated. When I say educated, I just mean by like knowledge of a certain knowledge of certain things. When I say education, I don't mean like a degree or anything like that. I just use the word educated opposed to knowledge, but I meant knowledge on certain things. But the one thing I will say, and it's not directed at you, this is just towards anybody that's our age and higher. Um, I know you said you work out and stuff like that, and that kind of counter counterbats the other thing as far as what you're eating. But because you do work out in the physical aspect, you're mentally strong, all that. So your level is going to be so you're going to operate between 60 to 70 megahertz. But I'm talking about people that don't have all those four categories, checked off. So once you get past our age, like I said, you're emotionally stressed out, you don't have mental strength to get through, and you don't have any spirituality, and you eating bad, unfortunately, you're going to deteriorate, and those levels is going to drop, and you're going to be susceptible to disease. So I think it's good to say that, but it's not just that one aspect of the physical part as far as working out areas too that affects the body. But unfortunately, because like you say, most people we eat some people eat 3-4 times a day, if not more than that. So that kind of overpowers everything else. And if, like I said, those categories are not in place, then people out here killing themselves. And it's sad because it's something that can be changed if people just stop and look at what's going on, and they maybe they can help themselves. And I think I said to you, but that's like it's crazy. If you look around, people literally only thing they do is they eat, they drink, and sex and entertainment. It's like those are the money. Those 5 things is what a lot of people operate off of. I'm doing DoorDash part time, and everybody just eat. They're ordering it. They going out to restaurants. Today was mad crazy. I'm like, is that all people do is eat? And I'm talking about from 9 o'clock all the way to like 10 o'clock at night. So it's not people just, I know people got different times that they work and so forth. But I don't know if you remember when we was growing up, at least I noticed that it's like around 9 o'clock, it was busy. Anywhere between 10 and 11 to 12, nobody was out. 12 o'clock was busy because it was lunchtime. And then from 1 to like 5, everything was like, kind of dusted and stuff like that. And 5 o'clock again, it was popping. But now it's like at all day, these restaurants are packed. So it's like it's slowly killing ourselves, and we don't realize it. And yeah, like I said, I'm on a conspiracy thing. That's going to be something for another day. But I
Mm.
don't know if you got any closing uh, remarks or.
No, I mean, yeah, like you said, this could go on and on. I mean, this is just scratching the surface, to be honest, because it goes to so many different levels. Like you said, get on the conspiracy side of it, on how food is the way it is, and it's kind of out there for a reason, you know. But again, I'm gonna close it on this note, not kind of open it on that same note, is your self-worth. Like, and you said it, educate, knowledge, whatever you want to call it. You got to seriously ask yourself. You know, I have a client that told me the other day that she needs to start working out more because she noticed that she's always tired, don't have no energy. And I said, that's partly the foods you eat too. You know, so that's where I told her, it's like, look, you have to do this. And I started telling her all this stuff that she got to do. And it was all of something that became, well, damn, that's a lot to do. I don't know if I could do all that. But I'm like, but you want to be healthy. You want to be able to go and do things. You're going to have to suck it up and hold yourself accountable. So that's why I say it's all about self-worth. If you know what you got to do, you really got to ask yourself, what is your worth? Do you feel you're worthy? Because I always ask, and this is the analogy I put on my client. I said, either way, you paying. If you don't eat or do clean, I mean, eat clean or work out, whatever it is that you know you got to do right, you're going to have to go to the doctor, pay all those medical bills, pay all that medicine. So you still coming out your pocket. So either way, you paying. So you just got to ask yourself, which would you rather do? Put in a little hard work, put in the work to stay clean, eat clean, or go to the doctor in every other week out, getting medication, getting all this treatment. So it's what you feel deemed is more important to you. So if you feel you're worthy, then you will put in that investment and say, you know what? I deserve this. I need this because I love myself that much. You know, because if you running around talking about how nice of a car you got or a nice house or you've been all traveling here and there, but your health sucks, then you really don't care about this stuff. You care about the material stuff. You don't care about you because that should be your number one priority. As the old saying goes, health is wealth. If you ain't healthy,
Yep.
how wealthy are you really? You know what I mean? Because it's nothing worse than being healthy. I mean, not healthy. You got all the money, but you can't do nothing about it. You can't spend it. You can't go nowhere because you're so unhealthy that you can't do nothing. So your health is your wealth. So I'll encourage everybody out there is really do a self-evaluation on yourself, and there's nothing wrong with questioning yourself and saying, "Damn, do I really love myself?" Because if I do, I should start making a conscious effort to start being healthy. Now, again, like I always tell everybody, it's a STS. Stay consistent, trust your process, and be consistent. I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight by no means, but you got to put an effort and make it a habit if you really have that. So that's my closing on this is what's your self-worth? If you feel you really worthy, then your health should be your number one priority over everything. Because if you ain't healthy, you ain't doing none of the other stuff. So it's not even important. So your health should be number one, in my opinion. That's just my opinion, guys. I ain't saying that's what it is, but in my opinion, if you ain't healthy, what can you really do in life? So just take that, let it marinate, guys, and then enjoy your day. I would like feedback. We would like feedback. Anybody that's out there got a degree or something, if you feel like you want to dispute something, not dispute, but give us your point of view. We would love to hear it. So on that note, I digress. So
All right, beautiful people. We thank you again for tuning in. And I'm just going to close out with, as Marcus said, health is your wealth. And I always, encourage people to do your research. Do what works best for you. As I said earlier, I did my research and found, sometimes, there's so many different types of nutrition habits, lifestyles that's out there, and sometimes we jump on them, and it's not what we're supposed to be following. So I just tell you, encourage you to find out what works best for you, Stick with it. Let your body talk to you, because your body will talk to you and let you know what's good for you and what's not. And as always, tune in, like, subscribe, comment, and remember, your thought, not my thought, but your thought or thoughts becomes your belief, and your belief becomes your manifestation. On that note, peace out.
All right.